All right. Let's add a route, shall we? And a link to that route. So inside app.js, under my H1, I'm going to put a UL. And I'm going to put a new LI for each link that I'm going to link to. And underneath that, I'm going to put some routes. So it'd be cool if we could say, if it matches this route, go here. If it doesn't match that, check this one and do that. If it doesn't match that, do this by default if it doesn't match any of these routes. What does that sound like? What kind of construct does that sound like in regular old JavaScript? What did you say? Somebody said something. It is like an if-else, right? What's a fancy way to do an if-else? Right. Well, wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? React Router gives us just such a component. So we're going to make a route. So we need to import route. We can also import switch from React Router DOM. So there's actually a switch component that it gives us to let us do some declarative switching between routes. So let's use that component. Switch. So just make switch tags, and let's put a route in there. And I'll say route path equals /GitHub. And I'll make it just render some JSX. Render equals, and I can pass in a function here. I'll just, what? Pass in some JSX. I'll say GitHub. So this route, if I go to /GitHub, it should render GitHub. So since we're using a switch, we need a default case, right? So let's make one of those. We just won't give it a path. We'll just say, by default, render a different render function. A paragraph that says a thing. Render is a prop, yeah. So this is called a render prop when you pass in a whole function as a prop that renders some JSX. To get started, click one of the links above, even though there's only one. So that's a tiny bit long, so for readability's sake, I'll go ahead and put it on its own line. All right, so if it matches /GitHub, I want to see H1 GitHub. Otherwise, I want to see to get started, click one of the links above. There are no links above yet, right? Let's see what I got. So it says to get started, click one of the links above. And what if I just manually browse to /GitHub? That's right. I can just use the back button to get back. It just works. So let's make a link to that. We're not going to just use ahref. We're going to use the links that are provided by React Router. And we learned there's link and NavLink. The difference is NavLink sticks an active class on it if you're already on that page. So I'll use NavLink. And inside my LI, I'll add a NavLink tag. And I'll say GitHub. And it's not href, it's 2. NavLink 2, and then you tell it the path. The path is simply /GitHub. So here we go. I've got a link on the page. I'm on just localhost 3000 right now. I click the link. Now I'm on /GitHub, and the page actually changed. Back button, I can get back. Now, I never actually left index.html. The page never refreshed. React just noticed that our route had changed and made the changes for us without anything else on the page redrawing.
So if you refresh it when you're on GitHub, does it?
Yep. Yep.
Wait, then, so did we?
Hmm?
So did we? Wait, no.
When we actually refreshed the page, it started over, yeah.
Okay.
But since we already had a route that matched that, so it still did the right thing. But yeah, if you never refresh, you can do all this without ever leaving the page. And if you look at this nav link, here it is, ahref equals /GitHub. If I'm actually on the GitHub page, it adds class equals active. That way we could style that differently to indicate that that's the page we're already on. Cool. Add route and nav link for GitHub.